goes through this.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Good evening, everyone. I'll be talking today about the introduction to Android XR. Quite funny. I had this photo when I was working for Samsung. That was about 15 years ago, and was already working with VR, and then was preparing something like the glass. And now, most recently, I got so excited with Android XR, like presenting all the glasses and introduce, like starting new technology. So this, I have the GDG Sydney link tree. You can open and check all the links and also the speaker interest. So you can present here as well. So I got excited to also share to everyone because it's not just me speaking. I'm happy to hear a lot of stories, different stories, and I know that everyone can challenge yourself and come here to present as well. I've been quite a lot in the Google office and was involved. I started with J2 and E quite a while ago, and then moved to Apple side doing iOS. And then after I was studying Android, and was very funny because I had a brother that he started as an Android developer. And then I was joking with him, oh, stop with that and go to Apple. And then we flip it, and he today is doing iOS, and I moved completely to Android. So it's so funny. I went a lot to other events, and also with the GDG. I started the GDG in Brazil, that is Manaus. It was in 2014, was quite a while ago. And I was always excited to share, like this photo in the bottom is a university event. And then I was always happy to share a lot with other friends. So this was my first Google I/O in 2015. I went first time in the California, and then I found so funny because I got the Googler here talking about the Google Maps, and then he was mentioning about Sydney, and then I was also thinking maybe it might be the time for me to move there. Was so excited. And then moving here to Australia, I started volunteering in Melbourne in 2018, was also presenting at Google office over there, was always presenting and helping out as a volunteer. I'm very excited to always produce with that. I went also to Google I/O 19, was already with a lot of friends here from Sydney, Australia. It was very nice. And then most recently here in Sydney, and this bigger photo was my presentation about Gemini in March last year. Was also very motivating because it was one of the first talks about Gemini, but today everyone is talking about. So we need to keep moving and keep talking. So I found quite interesting to talk about my current situation because I did a few presentations in the past, but then was quite funny because I started using the Walker and was even about 5 months in the wheelchair. Was quite funny. So that is kind of the sad story, but is life. Sometimes we need to get over and improve in that sense as well. So I am a triathlete. I did Ironman in here in Sydney. Was quite challenging. Was always improving. And then because I was registered for one of the event, was end of 24. I had an accident, then messed me up completely. I stay about 3 months in the recover, like unconsciously, but sometimes just need to be thankful and restart everything again. So I was already playing tennis and kind of bike cycling already, but let's stop with the shit talk and let's get back to the work proper stuff. Like it was funny because I joined Optus was 2 months before the accident and then messed me up completely. Then I was contracting over there. Then when I was good to work again, was already finished the contract. Then I started thinking, how about now? Then is now. Like we always need to search new work and start getting back to normal life. So this was kind of my journey and a few apps that I worked here in Australia was also very interesting, like the Tabcorp, Suncorp Bank. We did the whole migration to Kotlin, and then also the SBS on demand was also very funny because I was sharing to the friends, like, oh, did you watch already the triathlon displaying on the SBS on demand? And then everyone was curious. And then I was saying, yeah, I did the Android TV app for SBS. That's the way you do it. The other was Listener app, was very nice app as well. It was very famous by Triple M Radio, has been quite famous recently. And then after that, I did a little bit of work at Medibank and then on the last at Optus. So that was my journey here in Australia. So I have here is also very nice to uh, follow up the Gemini talk that I present in March 2024. That was at Google Office. And this other one I found quite interesting because was already talking in September of 24 about the new market. And then I never expected to have the accent and need to search for a job again was quite challenging. So I kind of recommend these two. The first one about Gemini, there is also on the YouTube. So you can, this is just a presentation, but you can watch the whole presentation on the YouTube as well. Everyone got the QR code? Can we start talking about the Android XR? New stuff. So this was kind of very new for me as well, despite having a lot of experience with the VR in the past. I got challenged to understand and learn more. This was, I prepared just a quick introduction just to have an idea. And then in the end, I have a video that is the release recently, so you can watch and check it out. So start from the beginning. What is Android XR? Is pretty much a whole new Android system. So they prepare already a lot of new stuff. Like if you use in the glass, or you can also use a headset that is the whole stuff. Like it's quite funny because it's very similar to the Apple Vision, so it's also very challenging. So here is just a quick introduction. So there is a very the core architecture and the SDK is already on the preview. So you can, I think is on the tree is about to be released. Expect maybe a couple of months will be ready. So you're gonna have access to all the SDK and stuff. So is the main ecosystem is also very separated. I should have prepared a little bit better in the slides. So in the immersive VR and MR headsets, you can have in view what you have on your phone, but the main idea is for you to not keep using your phone. You can just have the glass and then you can watch everything, like have a notification and everything. So the main idea in the future will be stop using the phone itself. You're gonna have like just a normal eyeglass, and then you can do everything. So we have a lot of devices today, also like cameras, audios, and everything. So it has been quite nice and interesting. So the runtime modes is the usually home space, the system level environment where standard Android apps run in a multi-window canvas. Users position floating panels, 2D screens, 3D models side by side in their physical workspace. So it has been quite funny because you can interact. So let's say I'm walking here in the city, and then you can have the map and display whatever, like what you're working towards. So you can do also a very easy find new places to go and identify. So the new part of the SDK is gonna be launched is the Glimmer, Jetpack Compose Glimmer is pretty much the new UI. That is the new environment because seeing something in the glass and you can be walking and not fully paying attention on what you are watching. So you need to also see a lot of stuff and be able to identify what's happening still because you can't like just close your eye or start watching a movie and keep walking. It's quite tricky. So the Jetpack XR API stack has been, we have quite a few stuff. And then here there is a example, like some code wise. There is the other video in the end that you can follow on. We will explain a little bit better than myself. I'm always still studying and learning. So this is already a little bit of the roadmap. So the developer preview was already presented, and now I think is we are in between the beta core and the Glimmer release. And then after that, we can have the consumer scale as a production ready. So imagine I started thinking because I already worked in a few TV, like the SBS on demand, I started thinking, yeah, why not? This would be a very productive stuff to be in the glass in the future. So after probably mid next year, I expect we're gonna see a lot of apps being able to watch in the glass. So this is the little bit of the thread execution latency. So you can see that the biggest stuff is the current apps, and then they're gonna start migrating to the XR scene graph, start producing the environment. And because if I started testing, like we can already run a normal app in the XR environment, but then it's quite tricky because it's normal as we see on the phone. So they need to start migrating completely to the normal glass environment. So the scenarios here is just a idea because if you see the first photo, she's using the headset and then keep using, let's say, the monitor, and you can watch both at the same time and keep migrating for a multitask complex workflow. So let's say if you are working, you can still communicate and identify other stuff, but also the work that you are still working or doing. The 3D spatial prototyping is also very nice because that is kind of the very new because it will be kind of floating stuff. And then let's say if I'm watching it, like you're gonna see a lot of new stuff floating around that is just at running. And again, also the enterprise guides can also be very helpful for maintenance or other stuff, like because you help the people to identify. So let's say if they are doing maintenance, let's say, I don't know, airplane or stuff like that. So we'll be identifying and guiding them to do whatever is needed. So be more kind of a VR introduction. So this is already kind of the impacts and also the code reuse, like it's considered as 95% is the migration that we still need to do. It's not something that will be automatically done, but you need to identify and organize the different way to proceed and develop all of that. So this is again in terms of the devices, and then we would have the high-end VR MR headset and the intelligent display glasses. That will be more in the normal glass. you just wear it, and then it's way easier to use than the VR headset. There will be more the 3D stuff in trying to help you and give you more introduction to the other part. So it's time for us to build a spatial future. I found this quite challenging because even for myself, I still need to learn. So it's same for everyone. It's a new technology. We always have to learn more and understand how it would be. Because if we try to just, oh, this is this way and just accept and take that, next month can be completely different and change everything. This was the video I was preparing. My idea was, I think I was expecting to be the second presentation, but it's funny. Yeah, you can watch. This was this. Is maybe should play just a short.
Android XR uses the APIs and tools you already know from building adaptive apps. This makes it easy to create magical new experiences and scale them across the growing ecosystem of XR devices. If you're developing for Android, you're already developing for XR. Today, we're announcing Developer Preview 3 of the Android XR SDK. This release brings increased stability and a bunch of new features, getting you ready to build the next wave of XR applications for headsets and glasses. Let's start with XR headsets. This is where we've been working closely with developers like you to refine the APIs and tools you need. We've added new features for building rich 3D scenes, such as spatial animations with soft head locking and transitions. We've also made it easier than ever to adapt your existing UIs with Material 3 components like dialogues and navigation bars automatically transforming into spatial XR elements. Android XR is designed to also power everything in between headsets and glasses, like Xreal's Project Aura. We saw Andrea demo how it blends immersive headset experiences into a lightweight form factor with a 70-degree field of view. We call them wired XR glasses. As these devices come to market, your adaptive apps will adjust their UI thanks to new APIs that allow your app to detect a device's field of view. You can start testing the different fields of view right away using the XR emulator in Android Studio. Now, if you've been waiting for more on AI glasses, well, Sharam revealed it earlier. Today, we're opening development for both AI glasses and display AI glasses. Let me walk you through some of the new updates and libraries in Developer Preview 3 designed specifically for glasses development. Last year, we introduced ARCore for Jetpack XR. Now, we're adding ARCore's geospatial capabilities, so you can use the visual positioning service to provide directions based on orientation. You can also use the geospatial API to build content triggers and location-specific actions in your apps. And with ARCore's motion tracking, you can build dynamic experiences that respond intuitively to user movement, like a simple head tilt. Beyond these ARCore updates, we're also introducing 2 new libraries, specifically designed for AI glasses. First, for UI, there's Jetpack Glimmer, our Compose UI toolkit for AI glasses. Glimmer includes familiar UI components like cards, lists, stacks, and more, so you can quickly build beautiful UIs that are designed for glasses with transparent displays. Second, there's the Jetpack Projected library. This foundational API lets you bring your existing Android mobile app directly to AI glasses. You can easily manage audio configurations and access the glasses camera from your core mobile app. As you might guess, the best experiences on glasses are the ones in which AI can help your users take action. We've been collaborating with the Firebase AI Logic team to make the Gemini Live API work with AI glasses. To help inspire us, let's chat with Amit. He leads the Writer product team at Uber, and he's been using these tools to help bring their app to glasses. Amit, come on in.
Hey, Matthew. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. We're bringing the Uber experience to glasses with Android XR because at Uber, we're always looking for new ways to help people go where they want and get what they need. There are so many possibilities to do that with display AI glasses. One area we're working on is how glasses might help riders stay heads up for an even easier pickup experience. Imagine you've just landed at the airport. After booking your Uber, you instantly see your trip status and ETA right in your view. This simple notification not only keeps you heads up and aware of your surroundings, but also lets you focus on getting to the pickup location on time. In a complex environment like an airport, we know that finding your pickup location can sometimes be challenging. And there's nothing more annoying than having to put your luggage down and pull out your phone. So we're using wayfinding in glasses to provide simple contextual directions. All right, so you've arrived at the pickup and it's a crowded curb. How do you find your driver? Now, instead of opening the app, the glasses can also show you the license plate number and even help you call the driver if needed. This is just the start, but it shows how we can make your journey even more seamless and intuitive, letting you stay present in the world around you. Back to you, Matthew.
Thank you, Amit. What an amazing use of this glasses tech for writers. Now that the demo has you inspired, let's recap how to get started. First, if you're developing for Android, you're already developing for Android XR. That means that if you're building for large screens, your app works out of the box on XR headsets and wired XR glasses. And if you're building features like rich notifications, they just work on AI glasses. And if you want to build differentiated experiences for all of these devices, you can start using Developer Preview 3 of the Android XR SDK and test your apps out on the XR emulator in Android Studio. Your feedback is crucial as we continue to build this platform together. Head over to developer.android.com to share your feedback and join studies that will improve the Android XR developer experience.
So this has been quite a challenge, and then it there we go. So this is the catalyst. I recommend to scan and have a look at this website and also apply for the testing, because if you want to publish an app to properly use the XR, you have the application will close June 30, is end of the month. So I start going fast. This is pretty much it. Thank you so much, everyone.
We probably have 2 minutes for questions. Does anyone have any questions? Gabriel.
I have a question. So I have seen, I know augmented reality, AR, and like virtual reality. I've seen also MR and these XR. So what are these other like modes, or what are these other realities? These MR and XR.
Yeah, I think as was explaining, it will be pretty much, I see as will be all integrated. So we're gonna be using all with 3D stuff. And as we were seeing on the video, you can see, and let's say the Uber, you can see on the glass will be, let's say, be reproducing. My glass will be showing in the bottom part of my glass. So it's kind of depends what you do, what you want to do, and then you implement in a different way. But the idea of the XR would be enable everything, have all the AI and stuff integrated.
Thank you.
Welcome.
We'll probably move. Yeah, we'll probably move on to our next one, but can we get one more round of applause for Gabriel, please?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's wonderful to have you talk again.
Legend. Should I?
I think should be also here. Maybe I'll just kick off so then yeah.
Thank you.